This is a story about what happens when you have breast cancer, told in real time.
It's been 2 months today, and 2 months in chemo years is a long time. And that's where we are.
Yeah. And they had to postpone my last one, but I told them I don't want it postponed by a week. I said, a couple days. So they put me back on Zarzio, which is the immunotherapy, which works better than the stuff that they put me on prior, which is the reason why when I went to go have my regular March 25th, went to go have chemo, they couldn't because my immune system, the things levels were too low. And I was just so upset. And I just said, Zarzio was working really well. You put me on something else that isn't working well. I don't know why you changed it. So they were like, okay, fine. Then let's see if we can do 2 days of Zarzio. So mind you, it was supposed to be on Monday, the 25th. So my doctor said, how about if we just postpone it till Thursday? And what we'll do is we'll do Zarzio Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll check your blood levels again and see if everything's good. It was by that Wednesday, it was ridiculously perfect.
Wow.
And I was just like, so yes, Zarzio works, not this other crap that you put me on. So the Zarzio got me back to where I should be. And so after my chemo treatment last Thursday, I did Zarzio for 5 days in a row. And the nausea is still there. It's horrible. Like yesterday, for the first time in a long time, I actually regurgitated. I woke up in the morning and I was like, why do I feel weird? And I was like, oh, I don't throw up. So nothing really came out. So what it told me is that even though my taste buds are horrible right now, my sense of smell is like, I don't even want to smell anything.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I had to unplug all the air freshener things in my house because the smell would just make me, and even the bath products, I had to get one that's absolutely bland because the smell just makes me upset. Fortunately, Toby's smell doesn't make me upset.
Oh, sweetness. I'm sitting there just remembering those feelings and just wanting them to go away. Usually there's something you can take, like a little antacid or a little something, and it's permeating your whole body. Your body is reacting because it wants that shit out of it. And
Right.
So it's doing everything it can, whether it's saying, hey, this all smells like shit. Can you do something?
I know. It's just that I dropped about 11 pounds overall, 11, 12 pounds, but I make myself eat. The funny thing is that little slimy taste feeling that you have in your mouth whenever you're gonna, you're feeling like your tummy's upset. I pretty much have that every day, even with the anti-nausea medicine, no matter what. But I've found that I haven't been drinking as much water because at a certain point, the water makes me feel more nauseous, but I make myself drink it no matter what. But the crazy thing is the smells kind of bother me and all of that. But I find if I don't eat, I'm worse. So it's like the acids in my stomach. And I think that's what happened yesterday when I woke up. I didn't really eat much for dinner. So I think that just kind of that emptiness made me sick the next day. But it's crazy.
What are you eating? What are the things that work for you to eat?
I'm more of a vegetarian, vegan. Like today, I might just eat meat because I'm watching the men's Final Four and I've been craving pastrami. So I feel like a pregnant woman. And so I am going to go to the deli right around here and I'm going to get myself a real New York style pastrami sandwich. I can't eat pork, but fortunately pastrami's not. But yesterday I had a veggie bowl, brown rice, peppers, ground beef, that's vegan ground beef, and some corn. And that was my dinner. Then I had some fruit before I went to bed, some strawberries and some grapes and bananas. So for the most part, I eat well. I try to make sure that I minimize the amount of gluten I put in my body because Here's the great thing. AC makes your joints hurt. And so they were telling me to take Claritin because it helps the joints and all that stuff. And it was. But once I started taking the Zarzio, my joints weren't hurting anymore at all. So I stopped taking the Claritin because the Zarzio
Wow.
really does help even with that. But I realized too that if I eat a lot of carbs, it does bother my joints. That's why a lot of people that have arthritis, they're told if they, especially if they go to a holistic doctor or somebody who is a little bit more knowledgeable of Eastern medicine, they'll tell them try to minimize the amount of gluten you put in your body because it makes your joints inflame. So I try my hardest, but gluten-free pasta to me still sucks. So if I'm having pasta, I'm eating regular pasta. It's going to be with all the veggies or maybe some shrimp.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I do. I don't, right now, I could care less about following protocol as eating. Okay, so you say you're a vegan. Well, you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't. Right. Oh, and that's okay. I like the substitute cheeses. I like almond milk, butter. It's good. I love it. But if I want something and my body is craving it and I'm dealing with fucking cancer, I'm going to get what I want.
2 gazillion %. And if I'm correct, your doctors, if you say, what should I be eating? They say, right now, all that goes out the window. You know, there are supplements. I was gaining weight because I was eating ice cream because that's the only thing that settled, believe it or not, with dairy, you wouldn't think so.
And the sugar. Unfortunately,
And the sugar.
I have to now and then have dessert or some cereal. I'll have some gluten-free cereal, but it's just what makes me feel better.
That's basically it. I mean, aside from some supplements that they say, hey, don't do that. But the doctors are just like, whatever gets you through. And also, if you're like, when I was gaining weight, they were like, cool. And I'm like, no, I just worked to get this off. And they are excited to see that. And when you are losing weight, they are concerned.
Yep.
And so I was really curious what you were eating because I know cold was key for me because my esophagus and all of my digestive tract was burning.
Oh, wow.
And have they told you why your digestive tract is messed up?
Mine isn't messed up.
Oh.
The immunotherapy it helps with all of that stuff.
Oh, that is brilliant.
The only thing that I really suffer from is nausea. And prior to going back to the Zarzio, my joints would hurt, a little bit, especially my knees, because they're just kind of beat up anyway. But the immunotherapy really does alleviate a lot of stuff.
That is incredible because I took Claritin for the whole time. Are you done with the AC? Are you close?
April 18th.
Okay. So one more.
Yeah, it would have been April 15th, which was my birthday, which is my birthday. But because they postponed it from March 25th to March 28th, I have to move it now a month later from April 15th to April 18th. And that's my last one.
And so I don't even want to say what's next because this has been such a journey, but what's going on after April 18th?
Well, okay. So let me even take a step back to just March. I had another MRI and everything looks good. The tumor is still there, of course, but it's small, hasn't been removed yet. And it's reduced completely. They didn't see anything else, but on April 10th, I have a full PET scan. And I already met with my surgeon again. And my surgeon, we talked and she looked at everything and she said, so I want to go and look at your lymph node, do a biopsy again. I want to just make sure that it is benign. And so I'm going to do that. And then I talked to her scheduler this week coming up about the date. We're looking at maybe May 20th for surgery. And I'm going to have a double mastectomy. I was like, just take them. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. And where is that? Is that UCLA? Is that right by your house?
UCLA, yep, not far. And I'm already going to, once we get a firm date and all that, then I'll start making some plans I'll probably put Toby in doggy day camp for about 5 days. And that way I don't have to worry about walking him because the pulling and stuff like that I can't do. I have a friend that lives in my building that's a nurse that lives in the condo building. And so what I'm going to do is if she's going to be around, I'm going to make plans with her to help me wash. Because as a former nurse, she could care less about body parts and all of
Sure,
that.
sure.
So
Yeah.
she'll just, help me with that because I can't get my upper body wet. And I'm going to order one of those food delivery things. So they
Yep.
bring food for a week. You order what you want. That way I can just put it in the microwave and I'll be good. So that's kind of how I'm going to prepare for my surgery. She said that there shouldn't be a lot of pain. She was saying that the pain isn't so much with that surgery. That's a lot, it's discomfort, but you can use over the counter like Tylenol or something. They'll tell you. But she said the pain comes when you're going to have reconstructive.
Oh, the expanders and all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there's an episode back a couple of years ago that I did with Dana Donofree, who owns Ana Ono, beautiful company, and a breast cancer survivor and all of that, but the things you need for surgery. And now those are the reconstruction things. And so like you said, I'm really glad that you said that it's a different surgery because of the expanders and all of that. It's still major surgery. They're still going in and they're still taking a body part.
Yeah.
And it's a huge surgery. And I applaud you for your self-awareness, your like bravery, like all the things that you know about yourself to not have the reconstructive surgery.
And I will say, my doctor, my surgeon, she said, she went on her computer and she said, let me show you how your body might look. She said, everybody is different because of their size. So if you're overweight woman or this type of overweight, here's a probability of how you'll look. You might have a little bit of skin, here, and it could go away with working out. And she said, but if you're thin, this is how it might look. And so she literally showed me all the pictures, all of these, like we saw like at least 10 pictures of different women, different sizes of the cut because of how their skin healed. She showed me everything. And I was still like, yeah, cool. Okay, fine with that. And I might, even really pay attention to the fact that there might still be a little bit of fat here, or maybe even a little underneath might be something there. And I'm still cool with it because I also been looking forward to getting a month after surgery, maybe a few months after surgery, I should say. I'm going to look at getting a tattoo.
Oh, I love it. What are you thinking?
I love butterflies. So I might get just a really, really beautiful butterfly and, maybe a monarch. I have one on my back. It's pretty small, but maybe I'll do that. And then, you open your shirt or you wear, you can wear see-through type things if you want. You can be very sexy with it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's kind of how it will be something symbolic. It'll be something that will show that I've gone through a metamorphosis. That's the reason why I'm thinking butterfly.
I love that. Wow, that's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. So gorgeous.
You're so emotional. I love you.
I know I am. I just feel it. I know I'm such a nerd. I am. I cry. But I really do see it. And I really do. My empathic nerve is overactive. I was getting a little teary eyed, thinking about it. And can you speak a little bit to, the difference in mastectomies now versus 10 years ago versus 15 years ago?
I asked my doctor about that. I said something to her about, you're not going to like gut out my whole chest. She's like, no, we stopped doing that. She said, actually, they really stopped doing that like in the 80s. She said, unless it was just a doctor who wasn't just a good doctor, who just really didn't care. She said, they don't really do that anymore. And now there's more concern of just showing the probability of how you could look. So that's why she did that with me. It was just, it becomes more about, and she said the surgery isn't, you're not going to really be in because I said to her, I've been doing a lot of research. It says I'm going to be in a lot of pain. And I said, so I don't know what kind of medication, but I don't like using opiates or anything like that. I'd rather use cannabis. She's like, no, you shouldn't need anything but Tylenol, Tita.
Wow.
You might just have discomfort because you had surgery. So your arms, it's some weird feelings that you might have. She said, but you should not be in any, hardcore pain. She said, if you're feeling up to it, you can go home that same day after the surgery.
Wow.
Or if you, say for instance, just after surgery, you're still a little too loopy, you don't feel secure enough to go home, then you can stay overnight. And so we went through everything, how you lay down, how, you're obviously going to have to sleep on your back, and that the full recovery normally takes about 4 weeks. She said some people it's two, but we still say, even if it is two and you feel you don't have any pain really, she's like, you still have to be very careful with the stitches will still be there probably. We went through everything. We talked about literally everything.
Did she mention anything about a auxiliary biopsy when they're in there with the lymph nodes? Okay.
No, they're doing all of that ahead of time just to kind of find out what's going on, how everything is looking. So
Okay.
that's why they're not giving me a date yet for the surgery until they're sure that, what's going on with the lymph nodes, because
Sure.
that might change a little bit of the surgery. And it's really just the left lymph
The
node.
left breast. Oh, okay. So you sound like you're feeling really confident and really good. And I mean, as confident as you can. Sounds like you've done your homework. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this shit is, I'm going away out of town on business with two of my other colleagues on April 24th. So it'll be 6 days after that last chemo. The only thing that I'm kind of glad about is that I'll be taking Zarzio that week. So I'll be taking the immunotherapy prior to me going away. And that day that I'll be leaving that morning will be my last shot that I'll give. And so, yeah, I'll take my nausea medicine with me. I'm gonna probably be a little bit nauseous, but I'm like, you know what? I've been living my life being a little bit nauseous for the last like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And I want to go away. I want to do this trip. And I know me, I know I'll probably go and get some cannabis, take an edible or something that I can take for nausea, particularly,
Sure.
and sleep. And what I'll do is, the flight is about 4.5 hours. So what I'll do is like, when I get to the airport, I'll just take it in between that time and boarding, it probably hit me, and I'll just go to sleep.
Are you going to Hawaii?
No, no, going to DC. But
Okay,
the
cool.
cool thing
That's
is
great.
that I'll get to see some of my friends and family in
I love
DC,
that.
and they all live in Maryland, but just on the suburbs of, they call it the
Yeah,
suburbs of DC. So
that's
I even
great.
know how to get around by train if I have to. So it's all good.
Is there talk of radiation? And why or why not?
Okay, it's a good question. My doctor mentioned radiation to me, and I told her I don't want it. I don't want you to just add on shit because of adding it on. Like, that could have me feeling a whole different kind of way. And I'm just I want to be well, yes, and I don't want it to come back. But I would rather be on immunotherapy for a year or something, or some other pill I take than to have radiation. But my oncologist did mention it. She hasn't mentioned it since. Now that's the thing. She hasn't, and she's the type, if she feels very strongly about it, she will come back and say it, and she still might. But she would have to give me a really, really good case of why it's needed if the lump has shrunk and there's no other signs of cancer anywhere else except there, and we're moving the whole thing. I don't understand why I need to do radiation.
Well, the lymph nodes are going to give you information about radiation as well. And it sounds to me like all of the chemo, all of the treatments have been best case scenario, in your biopsies and all of that. And with your tumor shrinking and to being just, so much smaller, your body has reacted to the chemos.
Mhm. Every time they've done other biopsies, they've been benign.
I
So
love it.
that's what we're looking at right now, is to make sure, do the PET scan, make sure that nothing is showing anywhere else, laying dormant as best they can. They're not God. So
Yeah.
I am clear of that. And then doing this additional biopsy, I'm praying that that comes out benign as well in the lymph node, then there might not be a need for
Yeah.
radiation.
Have they mentioned anything about having a time frame between the time that chemo is finished and having surgery?
A month.
1 month.
Yeah. It's being proactive even when you get news. The worst news that I've had is when my treatments have had to be delayed because my red blood count is low or my white blood count is low or something. So, but what I've just been experiencing the last few days has just been, it's funny, like I got to take some more anti-nausea medicine in a little while. Here's the one thing I will say for everybody, depending on what medicine you're taking, if you're dealing with nausea, and even though you might feel like, oh, well, it's been enough days, I shouldn't be nauseous anymore, still take your anti-nausea medicine, because you just never know when you're just going to wake up and this shit is still in your stomach. It's still in your body.
Yeah.
And that's what I've just kind of been experiencing. Like, okay, Tita, yeah, you want to feel like you're good, but
Yeah.
it's still in your system and you're going to still have to deal with this regimen until this stuff is really cleared out.
Yeah. I feel like one of the best pieces of advice someone gave me is getting ahead of the pain and getting ahead of the nausea, and that there's no award for not taking that pill.
Yeah, that's me. Stop trying to force being normal, because shit isn't normal yet.
There's nothing fucking normal here.
Yeah,
you
stop
know, and
forcing
it,
normal. It's not yet.
no, no. And I am so happy that you're getting to the end of this chemo. And I know that you don't feel like $1,000,000 all the time. You look great
Thank you.
and your spirit's great. I think it has to do with a lot of the inner work that you do. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what do you do to be able to get through this every day?
Well, I still work, and my work that I do is a blessing because it is about making other people better. It's about helping us to have a better organization. And, to me, that's my small piece of the pie of making a better world. So the work that I do is positive, even though a lot of it, I work in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so right now it's getting this bad rap, but it's all about helping us to be better people. That's really all it is. So that's one thing. Also, too, I've been eating what the fuck I want to eat, which is what I was talking about earlier. I'm not drinking. I haven't had alcohol in my system since last August or September. I think I drank one time some mimosa because I was just like, oh fuck it, everybody's having
Most is not going to kill you.
right. Yeah, it's not going to make my white blood or red blood cells drop or anything. So, and I might have one on April 13th because I'm getting together with some friends, like some of my closest friends and one of my closest work friends, and celebrate my birthday weekend. My birthday's on the 15th, and so we're going to go to a seafood place and I'm going to get a boil with some, king crab legs and some shrimp and corn. And I might, who knows, I might even just have a beer to go with it.
Yeah.
And also, too, spiritually, it's Ramadan. So I can't fast because of my illness, but I've been making donations. I read with a group from around the country. We read the Quran every night. And we all just take turns reading. We do it the next day. It's from 5:30 to 6:30 for me. And that's kind of a good way to just kind of get some positive reinforcement
Connection.
spiritually. Spiritually.
Yeah.
And I haven't been doing my prayers like I shouldn't say a normal Muslim, but I haven't been doing them in the traditional sense at all. But I do what I need to do to keep my positive relationship with God and just ask for help, ask for support. My dog is an amazing I realized, he's 9 years old on April 27th, and he's the longest relationship I've ever been in.
That sounds like me and my dog, except for my son.
So yeah, and that's another thing too is my godson and little grandson. When I get to see them, it brings me so much joy. And when somebody sends me a video, and my grandson is like, "Hi, grandma, I love you," and that joy is just amazing. I wish I could see him more, but last time I saw him, I got a cold, and that cold was almost flu-like, so it almost put me under.
Ridiculous, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, I love him, and he doesn't understand why it's only video for me. He knows grandma lives far, so that he understands, but I wish I could see him more. And he's in San Diego, right by you, so I could even see you, but
Yeah. We'll get there.
we'll get there. So spiritually, physically, I'm not really working out and doing anything yet because my body doesn't feel strong enough for that. So I have my dog. I walk 3, 4 times a day with him. I play with him. I have really great friends and family who love me dearly. And that gives me a sense of just joy, just, people who are just bringing joy into your life. And I feel grateful all the time because of those things. I feel grateful that I am terminally ill or have this illness, but yet I still can work. Matter of fact, yesterday, one of my bosses was almost in tears talking about something she's going through, and it's work related. And she was very vulnerable and very sad. And I was able to use my life coaching skills to be able to help her get through it. And that made me feel absolutely blessed and powerful. And it made my illness not seem so bad to see somebody else hurting.
I love the way you're handling it, and I keep hearing, even though you're not using the word, I keep hearing the theme of connection, whether it's connection to your God, connection to your community, connection to yourself and your heart, connection to your job, connection to your missions. And I really do encourage people to reach out, and to have that, because it can be really lonely. It can be a situation where even though there's a gazillion cancer survivors and non-survivors, we always feel like we're the only one really going through it. And so I really encourage people to reach out to you, reach out to me.
I have to say, though, when you have to go to a chemo center, you're not the only one. And you see the oldest of the oldest people to the youngest. You're not children because it's not a pediatric place, but it's not a place of joy because you do realize then you're not the only one, and you do realize some other people are even more sick than you and might really feel like giving up.
Yeah.
So I understand now why oncology nurses and such are so just delightful, because they realize they're dealing with life or death. Like, it's not like I'm just gonna patch you up and send you somewhere else and see if you hope you heal. Like, they're dealing with you for months at a time. They know that there could be a turn for the better or for the worse at any given time. And I'm grateful for my healthcare. I'm grateful for my nurses. I'm grateful for my doctors. But, it is what it is. But here's some other good advice I just want to say to people. If you're going to be there for somebody, sometimes it might just be to be there to just laugh about something else than cancer. Matter of fact, I've gotten to the point now where if I'm watching TV, not a Netflix movie or a movie, but just watching some TV, and it goes to a commercial, and the commercial is around health or big farm medicine, I literally change it. I can't even watch that shit now because I don't want to feel the focus of it being around cancer, or I have to change that shit. So if you have somebody who is going to be around you, or a partner, or you just need to have somebody who brings you laughter, who talks about you like a dog and makes you laugh, and makes fun of you and, and stuff like that. And you watch some movies and you just watch some movies and you talk and you read about some stuff, but not somebody that's sitting there that's, looking at your every move and they're like, are you okay? All right. Do you need
I know.
something? Like, if we're just going to
You
eat
just want to be
pizza,
normal.
okay. Yeah, that's it. As normal
Yes.
as just, can you be normal? Because I know I'm not normal right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Tell me I am the most gorgeous bald woman you've ever seen. Yeah, absolutely. I think really being able to be authentic with the people that you're around and let them know what you need and let them know that like you have been living this cancer. And so let's do something else. Let's talk about something else,
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to fucking talk about cancer. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you can't be there for a friend, even when they're feeling like shit and they just don't want to do anything but just lay there and be miserable, well, let them lay there and be miserable and find.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
can't be around that, be you. Do what you got to do. Do your work, do whatever. And let them just lay there and be miserable for a minute and then figure out something else. Go to the ocean, lay there, go to the woods or something.
Something. Well, I want to talk to you when you, I want to talk to you all the time, but I want to talk to you when you finish your chemo.
Okay.
And I love you and I'm so proud of you and we're getting there.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Thank you for listening to Breast Cancer Stories. To continue telling this story and helping others, we need your help. All podcasts require resources, and we have a team of people who produce it. There's costs involved, and it takes time.
If you believe in what we're doing and have the means to support the show, you can make a one-time donation or you can set up a recurring donation in any amount through the PayPal link on our website at breastcancerstoriespodcast.com/donate.
To get the key takeaways from each episode, links to anything we've talked about, and promo codes or giveaways from our partners, sign up for our email newsletter.
You'll get notes and thoughts from me related to each episode and links to the most useful resources for all the breast cancer things. So if you have chemo brain, you'll be able to just go read your email, find anything we talked about on the podcast without having to remember it.
The link to sign up is in your show notes and on the newsletter page at breastcancerstoriespodcast.com.
We promise not to annoy you with too many emails.
Thanks for listening to Breast Cancer Stories. If you're facing a breast cancer diagnosis and you want to tell your story on the podcast, send an email to hello@theaxis.io. I'm Eva Shea, your host and executive producer. Production support for the show comes from Mary Ellen Clarkson, and our engineer is Daniel Cruiser. Breast Cancer Stories is a production of The Axis, TheAxis.io.